This is Distraction Therapy, a podcast to explain how we get through the day. Keep calm and carry on.
Hello, it's Tuesday the 12th of May and this is a Distraction Therapy podcast with me, Rob Watson. Who knows what week of lockdown it is, but I'm joined by John Prest, who's from Seed Creativity. How are you coping, John?
I'm coping all right. It's good. You know, I've always said, you know, you have like good days, bad days, good months, bad months, good hours, bad hours, and I'm all right today. It's one day a week. I get really tired. I don't know about anyone else. I think because you have to stay so focused and energetic and positive all the time that you just get like one day in every 5 or 7 that I just feel so tired. I've only had about 4 or 5 hours sleep as well because I've got a teething baby at the moment. So all in all, I'm good and I'm staying positive, but I'm really tired.
Yeah, it's like you're holding this sense of anxiety together constantly, aren't you? Because you don't know what's happening, what you should be looking out for, what you should be doing, and when you try and sit and do something, I can't give anything any attention at the moment.
No.
You know, that big pile of books that you see people bragging that they're reading. Yeah, the chance that I could sit down and concentrate on reading for more than 5 minutes that goes out the window. What is it?
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to ask, what is it you're doing? That kind of if you've got that kind of, what gets you out of that kind of flunk?
It's funny you asked that actually, because my last week or 2 weeks has been all about mindset. It's all been about my health, my physical, mental, spiritual, emotional health, and I suppose routine is now the big thing, because I think when we spoke, I'm guessing it was going to be about 6-7 weeks ago now, maybe more, 2 months ago. It was probably about it was when it was all kicking off, wasn't it? It was just as it was just kicking off. Me and Natalie, who's obviously my other half and my business partner as well, we jumped straight into quite a good routine, or we thought it was good at the time, and it was a similar routine to what we had pre-COVID, and then we kind of kept that going. What we worked out very quickly is that routine was rubbish and didn't work, and then we had no routine for a long time, and then it was like, we can't keep living like this is crazy, our house is imploded and it's all gone mental. And then we've slowly been getting back into routine and trying to figure out how we balance our work, our life, our happiness, our children and everything.
Where did you get the idea from that you need a routine?
Oh, lots of different people and books and stuff like that. You know, I've read that routine equals freedom. You know, routine equals results. Routine comes from having children, and routine 100% works with children. Any parent that says, "No, you don't need routine with children," don't know what they're talking about. You do need it. They do like it, and I'll explain why it works because of tonight. So normally, my little boy, he's 8 months old, has just gone into the same bedroom as my daughter, who's just turned 3, and I've had this little routine where I get her to sleep and I get him to sleep, and it's been working. Tonight, because of our routine was slightly different with this podcast and food and other things, they all kicked off. It went mental. I was like, it didn't work. So for them, they need routine. And I have found in my working week that routine has made me a lot happier spiritually, a lot happier and emotionally. So one thing I've been doing, so I'm just nailed, I think, touch wood, a new routine. I did it on Sunday night. The other thing I've been really studying, I've read 2 books, audio books, in the last 4 weeks, all about Ikigai. I don't know if you know anything about Ikigai. It's a Japanese, I want to call it a theory, but I think it's more than that. It's a way of life, and it's all about finding your flow. And flow is, and Ikigai is spelled Ikigai, Ikigai. and it's all about finding your flow. And flow is when you're at your happiest, and that could be when you're walking the dog, it could be when you're with your partner, it could be when you're eating food, it could be when you're reading a book, whatever that is. It's the point in your life where time just passes by and you're just in it, and you're immersed in it. And Ikigai is divided by 4 areas. It's about what you love doing, what you're good at, what's your profession, and what does the world need. And then the 4th one is the most important thing at the moment. What does the world need? And I think we could talk about this in a bit, but this whole Ikigai kind of culture, movement, theory is something I've been reading about, as well as a routine. And so to your original question, have I been coping with things, is by having a routine that makes me feel, that allows me to have some time on my own. It allows me to have time with my family, and it allows me to, when I am working, to be ultra focused on the important tasks that I need to do that day. Now, I'm still figuring it out. I'm still working out how to do it. Actually, what's happening when I'm figuring out my routine day to day is the hours that I spend working are getting less and less and less. But what I'm trying to do is that the hours that I am working, that I'm really, really focused on what's important. And that's the key.
I suppose one of the things that's, if you've been taken away, is the little distractions that you have in your day. There's a lot of people, you talk to people at the moment who spend a lot of time working from home, and they're beginning to complain actually that it's overload, they're doing far too much work. And being able, so I can get up in the morning at 7 o'clock, usually at my desk about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then you can be there till 7 o'clock in the evening and not really have moved away and popped out for a coffee, gone down to the post room, kind of wandered around some corridors looking for a colleague that you're trying to grab hold of, just to get away from the desk. You can't really do that while you're at home. No.
And a good friend of mine, Tim, we had a call a few weeks ago. He said something brilliant, and it's resonated with me, is this period, this kind of situation has removed the gubbins. And when I talk about gubbins, I'm talking about the bullshit. Am I allowed to swear, Rob?
Yeah, just not gratuitously, but that's a good word. No.
Yeah, bullshit's a good word. The rubbish meetings, the pointless emails, the chit chat by the kitchen, the chit chat by the toilet. All the things that made up your working day, the rubbish, the waste of time, that has gone. And the other great thing that's happened with this is that people can't hide behind the chat, the smoke screens, all these things, the bureaucracy, the red tape, all the things that just made business and work hard. It's going because, and Tim said another amazing thing. I probably might reference him a lot because he came out with a lot of good things. He said email is making a renaissance. Good email is making a renaissance. Like really good, short, descriptive, to the point emails that you need all your information in a clear, concise way, because there was a lot of crap emails prior to this, and there probably still is, but a lot of shit emails. And now those emails, you can't do that anymore. Like to work in this environment, to work remotely, to work in clusters and teams and digitally and virtually, it's got rid of all the rubbish that came with just hanging around an office or hanging around an institution or business. Now, and that's what's amazing. And I feel truly confident that in my 2-hour, 3-hour sprints that I have every afternoon now, I can just work on key performance tasks, revenue generating tasks, things that they're going to actually help and grow and move my business forward. And not just that, though, I also work on the things that make me feel good and feel like I'm helping and contributing. So I'm doing a lot more work with universities recently, like I've been mentoring students. I've been doing short little guest lectures, like virtual lectures. I'd stopped teaching May last year, and I feel like I'm doing so much more now. But I'm doing that because I want to, and it makes me feel good. So going back to what you originally said about how am I getting through this, I think routine, diary management, and flow and finding my flow, really peeling back the layers of what I enjoy doing, what I'm good at, what does the world need, and just trying to focus on that. They've been really instrumental in getting me through at least the last few weeks, because it is getting harder, and I think the last few weeks have been pretty tricky. But what's beautiful. I keep saying the word beautiful and brutal. They're the two my favourite words.
Brutally beautiful or beautifully brutal. I think both are valid, yeah.
Because everything that's going on at the moment, I truly believe is beautiful and brutal at the same time. There's some amazing things that are happening that I'm seeing that honestly make me feel incredible. And there's brutal things where I just think, wow, this is tough. But you know, there's beautiful things that are happening in my life that I feel like this is never going to change now, and I want this to stay. I don't want to lose this. But there's also brutal things where I think, wow, the next, we're not talking weeks or months now. I think we're talking years now for certain things in terms of, and I will say going back to normal, because I think going back to normal is an important thing to say. But we've just got to understand that the normal that we're moving towards isn't the normal that we know, but there will be a normal. And I think we do need a normal, whatever that looks like, because, days are changing and things in life is changing. Everything's moving and going into this new world. And like, I embrace change. I don't mind change, and I can handle it. But I do feel truly sorry for the people that can't. And like, I think maybe people of a certain age, it's tricky, it's hard to deal with this massive instrumental change. But we have to embrace it, and we have to understand it.
I'm not sure that's an age thing. Having excuse me, I wonder if that's like a sense of security thing rather than necessarily just about age, because there's a lot of people who can't wait to retire and change their lives, so it's people are people can be adaptable, but unfortunately I love that the email thing. I answered an email last week. It's a really positive, good email, and then the person reminded me that at the bottom they sent me another email to say I was asking for a date and a time for a meeting. I never get to the end of emails. I've never read a full email for the last 10 years, because if it doesn't say what it wants in the subject line, can we set up a meeting, or you must be here at this time, I don't read it and I don't take it in, because I'm moving on to other things. So it's that kind of that reprioritization of like, can we just get this done? The other one I had a really good thing the other day was all these Zoom meetings. They're going to change the work-based culture, because it's going to be harder for petty managers to be bullies when people are sitting at home going, hang on a minute, I'm not inviting you into my house to get bullied and belittled by a jumped up middle manager who all they can do is hang on to the coattails of power, that kind of thing, in their organisation and the process and the administration, and they never really offer anything positive. And then also those kind of slackers as well who never really kind of contribute, but they've always got something to say but never do anything. You've got to start to question, and the whole process of kind of remote working is like, kind of, hang on a minute, who's going to get the job done here? Who do we really trust and value in this? So it kind of spins it on its head to some extent.
Well, and again, I'm sure I'm going to keep doing this, and I've been doing it a lot. I'm going to go back to a conversation that I had with a good colleague of mine, and he said, and
we need to get him on the podcast.
We do need you need to speak to him, because he's a very, very, very clever guy, and he's good laugh as well. But he said the word now, the most important word now, is facilitation. Like, you've got to be able to facilitate conversation, solutions, meetings, direction, process, progress, anything that you want. You've got to be able to facilitate it. And now, like, if half your workforce is on furlough and you've got to communicate through Zoom, you really start to strip back everything about yourself and the way that you deliver something. So if you bullied people in the past, and you just you had an entourage, or however you worked, and it worked for you in the real working environment, or the human working environment, that don't work now. That doesn't work now, and it doesn't work because actually it's everything is stripped back now into like getting stuff done. Getting stuff done, stuff well, looking round corners, being innovative. I hate using all these buzzwords, but they just they sum it up. I hate even thinking out the box, but you've got to think out the box. You've got to think about things, and you know what? And morale is plummeting. It's on its knees. And as leaders now, you've got to pick people up. You've got to pat them on the back. You've got to let them cry. You've got to let them do what they've got to do, and you've got to pick them up. And if you can't do that, you're not a leader. You're gone. And now, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can't do that with people, you can't get people going up in the morning, feeling excited and generated and enthusiastic about what they've got to do in their job, then you're going to go. And you've got to go, because that's what the world needs now. Those days are over for leaders or managers to belittle people and treat people like that. And I think, moral-based decision-making, value-based decision-making was considered as a very fluffy thing 8 weeks ago. It ain't considered that now. It is not considered that now. And people are going back to traditional, really moral value, good moral values, and treating people the right way, and encouraging people and leading from the front. And that's why it's an amazing time for people, because if you're a young intern, new starter, junior, or you're trying to get your way into a business, if you can show those types of qualities now and be innovative and come up with ideas and be, and progressive. If you haven't got a family as well, if you've got no sort of ties and you've got time, you've got everything going for you. This is a big opportunity for you, huge. Like if I was 21 again, living on my own, not a family or anything like that. And obviously I love my family. I'm not trying to say that you're better without a family. I'm just saying that you've got this opportunity in front of you because you've got the time and the resources and the ear of people that are desperate for support and guidance and direction. So this is a great time to step up for people if they're in that position.
I'd hate to be at breakfast in your house every morning. It's like kind of eat your cornflakes, eat your boiled egg. You've got to Mr. Motivational Speaker every day, or is it chaos?
No, this is just for you, Rob. This is just for your ears, baby.
This is just for the world.
Yeah, no, I'm not like from I'm going to say 5:30 in the morning till about 10 minutes ago. I'm daddy. I'm daddy. I'm chilled. All this is brewing in my head and in my blog writing and my vlog and everything and two of the things that I'm struggling to do at the moment. But I think about a lot. And going back to your original question about how do I cope with things, I'll go through some of my routine with you that works for me. And the first one is initially breakfast with my children. Okay, and that's not because that's good for me. It's because they need breakfast in the morning, and I obviously do that and I get them ready. And my other half, Natalie, I try and let her sleep as much as she can because she's up through the night, breastfeeding and dealing with our child. And I'm not going to turn this into a whinge about my children because, if anything, my children are the thing that are getting me through this. But it is tricky with an 8-month-old and just a girl that's just turned 3. But my morning is spent around them. And then as soon as Natalie's up and breakfast, coffee and everything, I go out for a run. And I go out for a run. I've got a 3-mile run I live in Great Glen, which is for the listeners, which is in Leicestershire, in the middle of the UK. And I run to a little village called Burton Overy, and I run back. And it goes through all cross country. And I run round Engelbert Humperdinck's house. I run round his grounds, basically. And it is an amazing run. It really is. It's cross country, so I'm going through gates, sties, over fences. I've run through cows this morning. Like, I'm starting to understand how to run through cows because I used to turn away. I used to run back. I wouldn't run through them, but now I run through them. I'm all right with it. Sheep, it's wicked, and I love it. And I listen to my audiobooks. I'm getting through so many audiobooks by running. And if you're exercising and you're listening and you absorb, I can really absorb information when I'm running. And then that's my little run there. I come back, then I have my breakfast. And I have my breakfast, I have my breakfast with my daughter, which is technically her second breakfast. And then I spend a bit of time with them. And then at that point then Natalie does her sprint. So she does a 90-minute sprint. And she does pretty much sprints in the morning, and I do sprints in the afternoon.
Sprint as in a work sprint?
A work sprint, yeah. So the key with a sprint is it's either sort of like 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes. I don't recommend doing it after 90 minutes. I think that's enough. Well, maybe you could go a couple of hours if you wanted to. And you should plan your sprint before you do it, and you should work on key performance tasks or key revenue generating tasks for a business, or just your key tasks that you do within your job. So the thing is, try and leave your phone away if you can, because you don't want to be checking social media, emails, and you just do one thing or two things in that period. So, and you just literally just focus on that. But the key is to plan it before you do it. So what we're trying to do now on Sunday nights is we do our diary management and our sprint management for 1 hour every Sunday. So you can just hit the ground running on Monday with everything that you need to do. And my sprint now it's more than 90 minutes. I do my sprint from 1:30 with a break and then till 4:30. And that's the time where I work. Now, saying that though, that's already changed already, because I've had a few meetings, and amazingly, we won a new client today, which is incredible, and it's going to be doing some consultancy work with a big healthcare products manufacturer. But you have to be flexible with this. But yeah, you work on sprints and you just focus on one thing, no distractions, and you just smash it out. Set an alarm on your phone or your timer, and then you just crack on with it. And actually, if you do that and you get rid of the gubbins that you did have pre-COVID, actually, if you look at your working week, you can almost do a full week of work. And for me, with children, that is gold. But if you haven't got those kind of responsibilities, then obviously what I'm talking about is nonsense.
And it cuts out that in between time, doesn't it? The travelling time, the waiting time to get from A to B to go and do stuff, and for somebody to turn up, and and then your distraction. For me, I mean, I love just being distracted walking around the city centre, any town centre. But it seems like such a distant memory of being able to do that now. It's like you get distracted with other things. How do you keep your focus?
Well, it's funny that you say about walking around the town centre, and I'd probably advise you to do this, because every Saturday morning I go to Leicester City Centre every Saturday morning, because Rob, and we talked about this before, I still go to Leicester Market.
And it's still open, yeah.
It's still open, and it's brilliant, because I go there between 8 and 9:30 on a Saturday morning. And, we talk about beautiful and brutal. Walking around Leicester City Centre at 8:30 or 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning is beautiful, because there's no one there. There's no one. The only people that you see is a queue outside Aldi, Lidl and Sainsbury's. And I walk past that queue and go, you're idiots. Because I walk straight, I don't go anywhere near one. And I'm talking about on social distancing. I'm not near anyone. And I walk straight to the market. And when I get to the market on Saturday morning, they're setting up. They're still loading off the vans onto the tables. I literally hand them my bag and my list sometimes, if they can read my handwriting, and go, that's what I want. They fill my bag up. I then go to the indoor market again. There's no one really, everyone in there. There are people that are going there, but they're just not going that early. So I'm there first thing. I go into the meat market. I get my meat, fill it all up, and on the way back, I nip into Marks and Spencer's. And I'm not loaded, by the way, but I go to Marks and Spencer's because there's no one again in there, the food stalls, and I just pick up my little bits like bread, butter, all that kind of stuff. And I'm in and out of town in. It can't be much more than 15 minutes with no social contact at all. I mean, no one. The only person I probably get near is the market traders that we'll go to. I take hand sanitizer with me when I go. So I sanitize my hands probably 3 or 4 times whilst I'm in town. I'm not wearing a mask. And I've got one, actually. Natalie's made me one. And I know I'm going to start wearing one. It's weird. I just feel like I'm not quite there, ready to wear it, because there's people that I know in the market, and I've just got this thing in me about, I just feel weird meeting people that I know with a mask on, and I know I should wear it because it's better for deploying the virus or getting the virus, but I just don't feel like I'm there yet. But going back to that, Saturday mornings in Leicester City Centre it's like 28 days later. It's so surreal. It's so weird being in town on a Saturday and no one there in a city centre. It's amazing, and I'll never forget that. Whatever happens, I'll never forget that.
I must admit, I am a morning person, but I've got into the routine of just getting up. I get up I sleep really well. I fall asleep about midnight, regular as clockwork. I wake up about 7 o'clock, 10 past, 7:15 every day, and I've had a deep, solid sleep. I haven't, I'm getting really good sleep now. I haven't touched a drink since. Not that I stopped drinking very much a few years ago, so it was just occasional ones. But it must be back in January when I've had any alcohol. So it's like kind of. But the mornings, I kind of like to sit down and have a coffee and then start to look at the, kind of messages and tasks and things like that. And maybe what I should do is say, no, get up, go for a walk or a bike ride at that time and kind of just get out in that first hour. Because, in this time of year as well, it's like the best time of the day, and just kind of.
So you do have a routine, Rob. You do have a routine. You just don't want to admit it. You do.
No,
have a routine.
I didn't. I think I have a routine, but it's around very basic things that you kind of can't avoid doing.
That's the best routine. All routines should be around basic things. The big things, just do them ad hoc whenever you want.
When you feel them. Yeah.
It's all about little routines. And do you know what? That's funny about Ikigai? Micro flows. Right. Okay. So your flow is the thing that you love doing. So I know from how much I know about you. I know that you're in your flow, like probably now when you're vlogging and when you're chatting to people and when you're getting conversation going and ideas. I know that's when you're in your flow. But there's things called micro flow. So like say someone like Bill Gates, every day when he gets home, he washes the dishes. Like he washes the dishes, and the reason why he washes the dishes because he likes that routine. It's a chance for him to sort of like unwind, kind of relax, and he loves the kind of process of washing dishes. Like he'll do like the
tactile,
first.
Isn't it?
Yeah, the glassware, then his plates, then his all the greasy stuff. And they call them micro flows. So, you might get a micro flow from drinking a cup of coffee in the garden, or you might get a micro flow from, walking the dog or reading a book or whatever it is. And your day is made up from those micro flows, which might lead to your overall flow. And, that leads to ultimately what the Japanese think is happiness. Your little things, your little routines that you like, and the bigger stuff that focuses your mind in terms of your career, your profession, and your focus. And in Japan, they have a lot of micro flows that are very similar. So they kind of believe that growing fruit and veg in your garden and tending to your vegetable patch every day, it really, really contributes to health and well-being and spiritual health and longevity as well. So a lot of people that are in the 80s, 90s and 100s are still tending to their gardens every day, and it's this kind of like micro flow, these little things that you do within your day that just make you feel good. And I know, and I think that you are a man of little pleasures, aren't you, Rob? Because you do like a coffee.
I thought you were about to say little talent then, and I'd have agreed with you.
Yeah. But no, you're the same as me though. But I have these little I have a coffee every day at a certain time with Natalie, and I listen to my audiobooks at certain times, and my little run, the little run that I was talking about, that's a little. I think it's probably a bit more than a micro flow, but it's these little things that make up your day. And if you have these little things that you enjoy doing every day and you can do more of them, then actually what you find is at the end of the day that you've had loads of little things that have made you happy, and you ultimately become more happier from doing that. And I'm reading, and if you can read any little book about Ikigai,
I've just really, pulled it up on the screen.
Nice.
It's Akigai, Higai. It's pronounced Higai. One of the things that kind of it makes me think about is is the sense that I suppose one of my driving anxieties is the kind of the big picture stuff. So, you know, kind of that's a coping mechanism for getting through the daily basis of the little things, routinize them, value them, you know, kind of absorb yourself in them. It's a good way of managing your process. But there's also this kind of these big things going on as well. And I kind of being sat at home. I've got all of this information and news and media, and you know, it's like kind of hang on a minute. I feel as if I'm missing out from making a contribution because you're in lockdown. You can't get out, and you're having to adapt and change how you interact with people and what you do. What's your sense of how you're coping with, you know, that kind of. I'm not necessarily the what the bigger picture is, but the fact that there is a bigger picture that you're also trying to have to keep in balance.
Well, firstly, in terms of the bigger picture stuff, one thing I learned very early on is that anything that I can't control, I'm not going to worry about. So I can't control the virus. I can't control the economy. I can't control a lot of things, so I don't worry about them. In terms of giving something back and making a contribution, I do think about that a lot. Because I feel like I want to, you know, when my kids or grandchildren say to me, you know, during COVID, what did you do? I'd like to be able to say, look, I contribute to this and I helped with this and I did something. So that does play on my mind. And a few weeks ago, I was going for a run. A lot of my moments of clarity do come to me when I'm running. I just thought, what can I do? I mean, in terms of my purpose, what can I offer? What can I give back? And obviously, you know, we've taught at the same universities, and I've taught a few different universities and colleges, and I stopped teaching at HE level last year. And the reason why I did it was because, the reason why I started teaching was because I felt like there was parts of my education that could have been delivered better. And actually I had clumps of knowledge that I could offer young creatives that wanted to get into the industry, and I feel like I could support them and help them along that journey. And that's why I got into teaching. I came out of teaching because I felt like actually my time I want to spend on my career now. I want to focus on other people's careers. I want to focus on mine because I felt mine was not where it needed to be at that time. So I've really focused on my agency and being a brand strategist and a creative director has been really important to me for the last sort of 12 months. But then a few weeks ago, I thought, you know what? I was thinking in my head, like, it's really difficult for all the creative people that I know that have been made redundant. It's really difficult for all the people that I know that work in the creative industries that are on furlough. And I just thought, oh my God, imagine being a student or a graduate now when all this stuff is happening. Like, people that in the industry are coming out of the industry not of their own choice. So anyone that's trying to get in, this is a really tough time, but it's also a huge opportunity because there's a lot of, like, in the last few weeks, I've taken on 2 new freelancers because we had some gaps in our work and we needed to fill them. And, you know, these freelancers were really good, but I took them on because they've got a style that's perfect. They have the right attitude and they filled a gap that I needed at that time. So, and it was nothing to do about their career, where they worked. It was all down to the quality of their work. Secondly, it was down to their attitude. Now, so I was thinking to myself that there's a lot of students and graduates out there that are probably worried about this stuff. One, probably not finishing their dissertation for whatever reason, and then they've got to come into this shitstorm that is the world, let alone the creative industries. The creative industries was shitstorm anyway. This world that they're going into, and I just thought, you know what, these guys need help. And the first thing I did that day, once I'd had a shower and got home, is that I emailed every single person I knew that worked in universities and said, I can help. I'll help you. I can offer Zoom calls. I can offer guidance, tutorials. I'll give up X amount of my time a week to help your students. And you know what? Actually, everyone got back to me and went, that's amazing. That's amazing. And since then, I've been doing calls with University of Leicester, Loughborough, and I'm in talks with De Montfort now, just giving half an hour here to students, doing like Zoom calls with 8, 9, 10 people on the call. They get their questions together beforehand, and then I answer the questions over about 40 minutes. And that's made me feel good. So in terms of your giving back, it's like, what can you do? What does the world need, and what can you offer? I just feel like I've got knowledge in my sector, my industry, and I understand creatives. I understand graduates and students and their anxieties and their desires, almost in a way, in terms of the industry. And I just feel like I can help there. And it was great for me. It was it just helped me feel like I was doing something, because I would love to be out there delivering food and helping old people, but it's next to impossible at the moment, you know. And I keep saying I've got 2 small children. It's next to impossible for me to do that, but I can have a Zoom call most evenings when they go to bed. So in terms of helping the next generation of creatives, one, not get into their field or their job, they can do that themselves, but understand there's opportunity out there. There's loads of opportunity, and how to capture that opportunity. I feel that's where I can help people. I feel like that's my that's my calling in some ways.
What's this idea of attitude? I agree with you. I think regardless of your age and regardless of your experience, it does help, but it only helps in a certain way. You can have plenty of experience doing the same thing over and over again and never varying from that. That's not really experience, is it? But attitude, what would you expect would be a good attitude to adopt at the moment? What's the kind of flexibility of thinking that you're maybe hinting at?
It's simple, Rob. Don't be a knob. That's what it is. Just don't be a knob. It is that simple. Like I've always said to any graduate, anyone that's working their way into the industry, 3 things: skill, attitude, and experience. You've got no experience, okay? So you've got to rely on attitude and skill. You got to get good at what you do. You've got to cut your teeth. You've got to learn your craft. You've got to, and you know what? What an amazing time to learn your craft right now. You've got so much time. Like, if you can't pick up a book, if you can't watch a YouTube tutorial, if you can't just work out software, if you can't pick up a sketchbook, you don't deserve to be in the industry. You do not deserve to be, because it's never going to be given to you. You've got to be doing those things. And I still do those things now. Right now, in front of you now, I've got a microphone and a notepad in front of me. And on that notepad is some diagrams, drawings, figures, all sorts of stuff that I'm working out. Like I'm learning stuff. I'm trying to figure stuff out. I've just told you, every single day I'm running and listening to audiobooks. I'm still a student. I'm still a pupil of my sector, of my area. I'm still learning all the time, and that's what people need to be. You need to be learning your skill, because like in boxing, styles make fights. Okay, in the creative industries, styles make opportunities. Like if you've got a style and you're working on your craft and you get good at it, the cream will rise to the top. And that's another little buzzword. I'm sorry if I keep banging them out, but it's true. Like, you will just, if you keep work on your craft and produce great, meaningful work, and you get it out there on social media, on your website, people will see it. And if you contact people, you're giving them something to look at. So when I check people out, in terms of if they contact me and say, look, I'm a videographer, I'm a sound designer, I'm a journalist, I'll just go to their website. I just go, all right, where's your website? So if they haven't got a website in their email, delete, see you later. And then I go to the link and I go to the website and have a look around. And if it's good, I just bookmark their website and go, wicked, yeah, save that. And when I need that person, I'll go to my bookmarks and I'll see who's got the right person for the job. So that's skill. Attitude is just having a good attitude, just being friendly, you don't have to be ultra confident. It doesn't matter if you're an introvert. Most of the people that I work with are introverts and are quiet. It's just being listening, eager to learn, getting stuff done when you need to get it done, working hard, diligent, all those kind of things that just put you on the level and make you easy to work with. That's actually and not being a knob. You know, as soon as you become a knob, you just become really difficult to work with. So they're the 2 main things. And obviously experience. Like, what experience have you got in the thing that you're trying to do? And a lot of the people that come to me don't have any experience. And that's why it's number 3 on the list, because I feel like the first 2 are more important. Like I've just taken on a 3D designer recently. We need to do some 3D work. And I just went to his Instagram. And went, yeah, this guy's wicked. And it just so happened that he was a really, really nice guy as well, which was great. If he was a total knob, I probably still would have worked with him, because his work was that good. But I think most people that are freelancers know that you just can't get away with that now. You've got to be really good to be able to act like a knob, to be honest. You've got to be really good. You've got to have loads of experience as well.
Yeah, it doesn't get you very far without an extra shove, does it? Really? So,
No.
So what kind of stuff is catching your eye then when you're looking at kind of design stuff and your kind of media stuff? Are you delving into those big thick tomes, books that you said you'd read for years, or is it just scanning through things? Or
in terms of creative, on a creative level, I think websites at the moment are really catching, because I think a website now is more important than ever. Like a really good website, a website isn't just a pretty couple of landing pages. It has to be more than that. It's your brand message for a start, which is you're trying to build a reputation here. Your brand message is super important. In your brand message is your sales message. And then surrounded by a sales message is all the things that come with that. It's the proposition, it's your benefits, it's your features, it's all the things that are going to make people buy off you. It needs to be wrapped up and delivered in a beautiful, functional, aesthetically pleasing way. I talk about websites. 4 key factors of websites is form, function, science, and emotion. And to have those 4 things in a website is really, really difficult. And that's why I'm redeveloping my website. From the day this happened, I said to Natalie, we got to sort our website out. This is our website's more important than ever now. So I'm really into like web design. And it's not just about pretty looking websites. It's not just about, really, it's not just about the functionality. It's all the things that come with a website. Sorry. So I just burped on the mic. Sorry for everyone at home that heard that.
You do know I'm leaving that in.
Yeah, I know you are. But yeah, the science and emotion side of things is amazing, because like you think science, it's the conversion rate optimization, it's the search engine optimization, it's all the things that get people to the website, it's all the testing, it's the split testing, all the science of it, and then the 4th thing which people struggle to get right, it's the emotion. When you land on someone's webpage, it's that tagline, it's the hook, it's the visuals, it's that thing that just makes you go, oh, this is interesting, I'm going to spend a bit of time on this website, or this is really cool, I want to buy this. And that emotion that goes back to old fashioned ways of advertising and connecting with your audience. And I know so many marketeers that are steered to solely one of those areas. So I know marketeers and designers that are all about form. It's like, it looks pretty. It doesn't matter what's behind the scenes or whatever it is, it's got to look pretty. Okay, it's important. Function. Can you find what you're looking for? Is it easy to use? Is it clunky? Is it slow? Is it fast? Whatever it is, is it functional? Okay, is it important? Yes, it is. The science behind it. Can you get people to your website? Can you get the traffic there? Can you test things? Can you change things? Can you download things? Do you use data analytics, all the sciencey things about a website, and the emotion? Do you have really great copy on there? Do the visuals connect with you? Do you go on a website and you're just enthralled by what you're seeing? Right? They're the 4 things. Now, they're all important. All of them important, and they're equally as important. And if you can find the balance and the chemistry between all 4 for it to work, and that's the beauty of a website. And I just think just websites now, they're so much more than what we thought they were. Like I say to I've this new client that I'm working with now. My saying is that all roads lead back to brand strategy. I truly believe that you should always start on brand strategy before you do anything. All your decision making is pivoted by brand strategy. But closely second from that is your website. Because your website is your shop. It's your shop front. It's your media center. It's your hub. It's
where all your functionality is now, isn't it?
It's everything. Because we only have to go back 8 years ago, and everyone's like, "Oh, websites are dead. It's all about social media." And I still hear like influencers and all people saying, "Oh, websites are dead." No, they're not. They're totally not dead. Like websites, your social channels, your influence, all these different things. They are beacons to send people to your website. And yeah, you can buy on Amazon, you can buy on Google Shopping, you can buy all these different places, but I still feel like people will always go back to your website and look around there definitely for the next few years at least. So for me personally, when all this kicked off, was just like website. The first thing that was website. Let's get our website looking great, and we're doing so much work on it. Like literally spending thousands of pounds on it, and this is not thousands of pounds that I'd stash away. This is thousands of pounds that are in my cash flow at the moment for now, because I just believe that I could sit on cash and just see what happens, or I can use that money to try and create an opportunity and just go for it, basically. And that's what I've done. And I'm telling all my clients to do the same thing. I'm just saying, invest in your website.
Yeah, now's the time to invest in that kind of stuff, isn't it? If you can. I've been looking over the last couple of days at kind of WordPress themes and stock images, and I have to say it's totally depressing. I thought maybe I've discovered the hidden communities yet of where the really nice arty WordPress themes are, but these kind of the majority of web blog designs these days, I don't know where they went. I mean, I'm kind of quite traditional. I like a kind of a mid-noughties frame, box frame with everything listed on the side, that kind of stuff, so you can see it where you're going. All websites are now are massive big pictures that you have to scroll because they're made for tablets, and there's like loads of space and real estate on when you visit, but there's no functionality that you can get to. It's like, this is just a showcase for images. That's no good to me.
There's so many variables of website, like you said, like tablet, mobile, desktop. You've got and everyone's different. Like when I go to a website looking for something, I can guarantee you it'll be totally different from what you look for. I will spend certain time on web pages, which will be different from you. I will be clicking on my user journey through a website will be probably the opposite from you and from everyone else. And that's the beauty of websites. You've got to be able to create something that everyone can use. And the key with websites now is CRO, conversion rate optimization. It's about watching and listening and learning about what are people doing on your website. Like I'm working with a really great conversion rate optimization specialist at the moment. His name's Robert Deans. He's based in Nottingham. He's been and done it. He's grown huge agencies. He's sold them, and now he's specializing in conversion rate optimization. And there's lots of different things that you can do in conversion rate optimization. It's questionnaires. It's speaking to people, it's doing live field testing, it's doing things like watching and viewing how people use your site through mapping, through doing questions and answers that you can do after they've done the website. And it's about understanding about how people use your site and what they're looking for. Did they find it? Didn't they find it? And how can you improve it? And he did a report for me, and he did a whole audit of my whole website, and it was mind-blowing. It was so obvious. It was so obvious, like you put that there, but no one looks at that. And he's like, people only get to there on that page, and then they click there, but then where they click there, they can't go anywhere. And it's like, oh my God, that's obvious. And it was just like, wow, all this work, we spent over many years changing our website. Last time we did our website, we spent $6,000 on our website, developing all the assets, the show reel, everything. And it's like, oh my God, I've got to spend all that again. And we're just about to do it all again. So we launched our website about a year ago, and we're rebuilding it again. And it's not like we went backwards. The site we've got now was an improvement from the last one, but actually, if you think conversion is nowhere near where it needs to be, so we're spending more money on it now to get it where it needs to be. And the beauty of conversion rate optimization is that anything that you do, so if you can get say you've got 1% conversion, if you move that to 2% by just changing a few things, that could be £1,000, that could be £100,000 depending on your website. So actually, if you think about how much profit can compound from the work that you do on your website, it's mind-blowing. If you think about, if you could go from 1% to 2% on any other area of your marketing by doing something very small, you would do it. So why don't people do it on their website? And it has been a huge mind opener. And if you do get the chance, and for the listeners listening, if you're interested in conversion rate optimization, read a book called Making Websites Win. Is that right? It's done by the two owners of a company called Conversion Rate Experts. Is that right? CR Conversion Rate Expert. Yeah, CR. I think that's right. And it's called Making Websites Win. It's a big book. It's full on. It took me a long time to read it. But if you're interested in design, websites, and ultimately making more money from websites, that is your Bible. It is a Bible. So yeah, CRO. It's the future.
Gosh, I mean, I've just had a look at your website. It looks like a craftwork exhibition.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Concert. Yeah, no, it's a good one.
But again, form over function.
Yeah,
and it's form. It's aesthetically good, but it's not. That's not what websites are all about now, though, is it?
Yeah, that book is by Carl Blanks and Ben Jessen.
That's
I think.
it. Yeah,
I'll have a look at that. So, what are you doing to relax? You know, you've got all of this buzzing around your head, and then how do you switch off?
Okay, so in the evenings, once the kids have gone down, I normally do sit down with Natalie, and sometimes we'll have our tea then. Sometimes we'll have tea with the kids, and sometimes we'll have tea then. You know, after the kids go to bed, say 7:30, 8, my evenings are chilled. They are chilled. We will do work when we need to. So like last night, we were working till midnight, working on an amended proposal for a client. We had to do that. Obviously tonight I'm on a podcast. Tomorrow I won't do anything. It will be chilled. We go through box sets. So we're still going through Mad Men at the moment. We did our Afterlife, Ricky Gervais. I'd say the most I'm relaxed is in the last third of my run. And when I come back after my run, I meditate for 10 minutes. So my meditation was, I used to do it first thing before my little boy woke up, but he's waking up earlier and earlier now and it's becoming impossible. I've moved my meditation till after my run. So when I come back, I'm boiling hot and it's horrible getting into the house. So what I do is I go straight to my back garden and I do a 10-minute meditation in the back garden. That cools me down and I just feel like it balances me and it sets me up for the day. And I'm dead chilled then. And then later on in the evening, if I haven't got anything on, we'll chill, and it feels right, I'll crack open a few beers. I've always been very not weary of alcohol, but I know that it can be a really easy supplement with everything that's going on for everything that you're feeling, and I'm just very cautious of using juice as a way of dealing with things, and I try to drink when I'm happy rather than drink when I'm angry, sad or depressed. So that's the key. So but I try and avoid, if I can, Monday to Friday, and try and keep the weekends a little bit for having a drink, but I do have a lot of dry days, and but when I drink I try and curb it to around about 2 or 3 beers if I can. I don't have a big drink anymore. You know what I mean? If I was going to a pub and with friends, you know, I could easily rock through 4 or 5 pints. But those days,
which will, as you get through your 30s and into your 40s, that becomes 2 pints.
Yeah.
and then you suddenly realise, I just can't do this anymore. It's like, I used to be able to down, kind of 10 pints in a night, and now, that all those days are gone. They're a distant memory.
Yeah. Do you know what? I stopped drinking as much in pubs with my friends who do drink a fair amount, because I felt sorry for them, because they used to come out with me. One particular good friend of mine, Chris, I felt bad going out with him, because he can sink quite a few beers, and I'd be on pint 2 or 3, and I was already talking about ordering a taxi, and I just remember him looking at me thinking, you fucking
lightweight.
You've pulled me out here and I want to have a drink, and then you're going home, and it was like I felt bad because I just can't handle my beer, but which is a good thing now. But cheap. I'm a cheap date,
and that's one of the things we haven't got to the point yet, and I don't think people's heads are ready for this yet. In terms of maybe we're starting to see a glimmer of what you're going to do when the lockdown eases, and well, actually, it's not going to ease for a long time, and the reality is it's going to stay quite controlled for, social distancing is going to be quite present in our lives for a couple of years. But things like going to the pub, going out, going to the football, all that kind of stuff is going to be very, very. It's not going to happen anytime soon in the way that it used to happen. And I wonder if people will adapt to that kind of, the kind of Friday, Saturday night carnage culture in British cities. Is that now something we'll be looking back on and going, oh, do you remember the days? Because once people break the habit and they no longer have to do that kind of thing, do you think they'll stop, or do you think the Brits will just keep the one thing that they'll want to do is just go back to the pub and get shit faced?
Well, I've got and the answer to that is yes. Do you know what's interesting is on Friday. Okay, it was VE Day, and obviously there was loads and loads of these tea parties outside the house, and it was happening, sort of midday onwards. And I think people were pulling tables and chairs out the front of the house, having a few sandwiches, sausage rolls, and it was all good, right? Depending where you were. Now, later on in the afternoon, I took my kids out and the missus out. We went out for a walk, and we walked across the fields, and we came on this main road, which took us back into near our road. And as we're walking down, this was about 3-4 o'clock. Now the booze had flowed by this point. People drinking wine and beer and what's the drink, where you've got a fruit in it and everything? What am I? Pims, right? And social distancing was not happening, right? Like people were laughing and next to each other and stuff like that. And social distancing and pubs and alcohol do not work, right? They just don't work. So you put two mates in a pub, right, 2 meters apart on pint one, and go, right, well, social distancing. After pint 3, there's no way they're not licking each other's faces. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, right? So the whole point, and for me, I'm an all or nothing kind of guy. I'd rather not go to the pub and continue to do Zoom calls with my mates until the point where I can go to the pub and give them a big hug. Because there's no way I can personally go to a pub and not mingle with people, especially when I've had a few drinks. So I'm not going to do that. Now, like you said, you're completely correct. Social distancing is with us for a long time now. It's going to be, we're not talking months here. We could be talking years until vaccines, until things go where they're going to go. So in terms of like people, when Boris one day isn't just going to go, right, you can go to the pubs now, and everyone, and then just going to have this Friday night where it's really busy and everything's going back to normal. Look at what's happened in South Korea. That's what happened there. And they got a huge, huge spike. They opened the clubs and bars. All the young people went out and they spread it like wildfire. We've got to learn from that. Like, it is a clear and present danger. The virus is here. It's around, and it's going to be around for a long time. Like, I feel sorry for people that work in the leisure industry. I truly do. Hospitality, because hotels and stuff, yeah, that's fine. We can social distance hotels. Restaurants, yeah, I think we can. Bars and clubs, I don't think so.
Yeah, but is this a lack of imagination in terms of doing things differently? Because what we have in the UK is a pack 'em in on a Friday and Saturday night for pubs in city centre pubs, and we've seen the decimation of small local pubs over the last 20 years. A lot of them have gone. Thousands go each year, and so what we've got is an over concentration of city or town centre pubs that have got a capacity for say 1,000, and everybody's crammed in. And all of the little the eco structure of all the little boozers on the end of streets and things like that, where there might have been 5 or 10 people in there, all of that's gone. You think of the Rovers' return in the 60s, and how many towns, and Leicester's probably been more of a dry city than maybe places like Liverpool and Manchester and that, because there's the tradition is not to have that many pubs in Leicester. But can't we just there's lots of empty shops. Why don't we just put a few benches in them and a few kegs, and people can just 5 people can just go and sit in there. They don't have to all go to Wetherspoons.
but do you want that? Like, does that excite you? Because it doesn't excite me. Like,
well, if it's a choice, but it is. We're going to have to give up something, and is giving up excitement for safety, but you can still go out and have a pint. and see your
I
friends.
think maybe why don't we, like, now we're in the summer, why don't we do what the Germans do in Munich? Why don't we have massive beer gardens? Why don't we, like, look at why does it have to be in a building? Why like, if we look, we're social animals, we want to socialize. Okay, I get that. In UK, we love boozing. Okay, I get that. Okay, so we're social. We want to booze. We want to near people. We know that pubs, bars, and enclosed places are breeding grounds for the virus to pass around. Okay, so I know the government spoke about beer gardens. Why don't we look at, like, I know obviously if it rains, then it's a different story. But maybe I'm up for being imaginative here, and I'm up for being innovative. I think. There's nothing more I'd want to do now is then go and see my mates in a pub, but I know that we wouldn't do it because of what's going on, and like what's more important, to be around your mates having a pint or to keep people alive? And I think people are always going to go for the latter. And then while that's the case, I just can't see how this is going to pan out. I really can't.
Yeah, but that's only if you give people a cliff edge option. And if you say, actually, what we can do, and I've seen stuff in Lithuania, in Vilnius, they've closed off the city centre and they've said to the cafes, spread out in the roads, is that, and we don't have the climate, we don't have a continental climate where you can guarantee that it's going to be warm. It's been bloody freezing today. And, where do you, how do we do this? And there's going to be lots of empty stores, because unfortunately retail's facing some really challenging problems. Maybe some pop-up extra pop-up coffee shops to spread people about, and bars to spread people about might be the option.
But yeah, I agree, and that is definitely an option. I just think I think the more that this becomes the new norm, people at home, people exercising, reading, all the things that people are doing, working differently, etc. Like, how easy is it going to be to go back to that? Like, of all the things I think about in my day, drinking in a pub actually is getting lower and lower and lower down my list of things that I want to do. Obviously, going to see my parents is well up there, and I want to be with people, and I want to be around people, but actually drinking in pubs and bars, and I love drinking in pubs, by the way, don't get me wrong, I'm not poo-pooing it.
But you're prepared to give that up?
I think I am. Yeah. I think I am, until I don't want to be anywhere where I feel nervous, uncomfortable, and not at ease. I don't want that.
This is that beautiful, brutal mindset thing, isn't it? That you rattle around, on the one hand you see everything is beautiful, and the next minute you see everything is brutal in the same gasp, if you like.
Yeah, I'm really relaxed about what's going on. Like, I am taking it seriously, and I'm doing all the things that I feel like I should be doing. But when I'm out and about, when I do go out and about, say in town, to the shops and everything, I'm very relaxed. And I smile at people. But I'm seeing, like, there's one situation the other day, I was in the shop the other day, and there was this woman walking around, and bless her, I felt sorry for her, but she was walking around with a handkerchief over her face, holding the handkerchief to her face, like, going up to people and speaking to people and just frantically walking around like she was scared. She was so scared, and with a handkerchief on her face. And it was just like, I felt like saying, calm down, like, you need to get a face mask and you need to chill out, okay, and you need to relax. Like, she was running around with a shopping trolley and a thing over her mouth. Like, I don't want, no, and I'm walking down the road and people are crossing the road, and I understand this needs to happen, but how do we go from walking down the road and people cross the road to standing next to someone at a bar? Like, we're so far away from that now. We're so far away from that. We can't go from that to that in the next 6 weeks. I just don't see we're going to get to that. We might not even get to that this year.
It's things like closing roads off, widening pavement so people can spread out a bit, isn't it? It's all of those things are being talked about. That's
right for now.
Yeah.
That's not for tomorrow. Like, we're talking about work's change. We're using Zoom. We're doing this. We're doing that. Yeah, that's right for now. But Boris said that we can go back to work now. So actually people are having less Zoom calls. So people are building their business models, their systems, their processes around virtual working. We might not be having this conversation, Rob, in a month's time. So, like, actually, you need to be more agile in what's thinking. And actually, we're still in this period of, let's just see how this pans out. We've got to see how this pans out. There's no point talking about how it's going to work in terms of sports games and football and pubs and work, stuff like that, because actually no one knows shit at what's going on.
So what would you hope? We're going to wrap up. What would you hope would be the top 3 things that you'd want to keep? I mean, we'll take as it's like your Desert Island Discs things. That we'll take as read your kids, your kids and your partner. That's fine. But what are the other 3 things that you do that you want to keep hold of?
I want to keep hold of my business. Like I feel like we.
Yeah, but you had your business before. What do you want to keep about your business the way you're doing it now?
What we're doing now, exercise is one. I definitely want to keep that. I am exercising more. I've lost a bit of weight. I'm eating healthier. I just love the fact that the planet is healing. I've filled up my car tank once in 6 weeks. Okay, there's no planes in the sky. There's no, like people, like it feels healthy. We're hearing stories about Bangkok and Bombay of smog clearing, and I don't know if it's true. Dolphins swimming up Venice, rivers. These are the things. This makes me happy. We knew, we've been hearing for a long time now that the planet had 12 years to change before it was irreversible. Okay, we might be changing that now. Like we don't need to fly everywhere. We don't need to drive everywhere. And the world is healing. That is something I want to continue. I suppose the other thing is when I walk down the road now, people look at you and smile and say hello. And I think it's beautiful. I love the fact that it's bringing people closer together. Like last Friday, I know I was talking about people licking each other's face and stuff, but like seeing people on the street in front of their houses talking to each other. Like I don't know anyone on my road till recently. Everyone's starting to like look out for each other and be there for each other. That community spirit, that kind of traditional values of keep looking after your neighbor, saying hello. I'd say the environment and people, if we can keep that going, then that would be a really, really positive thing to take away from the situation.
So if anybody wants to get in contact with you, what's the best way that they can follow up with you? Twitter, Instagram, you've got all of them.
Well, I've got 2 sets of channels. So in terms of the agency, brand agency, it's Seed Creativity. So just Seed Creativity Agency, search, on all the channels we're there. In terms of me personally, in terms of business, it's Brandmaster Flash. So just type in Brandmaster Flash in any of the social channels on Google and I'll be in there. And get in contact, have a chat and a laugh. I'm up for anything. I don't want to end the podcast with I'm up for anything, but I have done that.
My only warning to you is don't do too much running. It's not great for your knees, and you might not think that now, but when you get to 50 and you start getting knees that you can't use, so maybe just vary it with a bit of cycling or something like that, just to take the pressure off your knees.
That's a very good point, Rob. And you know what, I have been looking into buying a bike recently, because there's no car on the roads for now. So I agree. I'm lucky enough that I do a lot of the cross country on the grass and stuff, and I don't run the whole thing. Sometimes I do a little bit of walking and stuff. But I agree. Yeah, I want to take care of my knees.
Yeah, cool. This has been I can never remember which one this is. This is a distraction therapy podcast with me, Rob Watson. If you want to get in touch with me, go to my website, which is robwatsonmedia.net, and I'm on social media with Twitter and Instagram. Just look for Rob Watson Media, or Rob W Media, sorry. And if you ever want to go over to Patreon, I think I've got a page up there as well. Just search for Rob Watson Media. But until next time, thank you very much.
This is Distraction Therapy, a podcast to explain how we get through the day. Keep calm and carry on.